Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan with a Fallout 76 news update. Patch 11 is here, and surprise, surprise, there are surprises in it as always, but the most surprising thing is when you logged onto the game after the patch was installed, your character showed up in a random location on the map. Well, that happened to everybody, so don't be shocked. And also, you look in your inventory and it is full of power armor pieces. Well, this is due to the patch trying to fix the power armor. So don't think anything is wrong. Bethesda told us that this was going to happen. I actually wound up at the Welch train station with every one of my power armor pieces and some extras, which they also said might happen. Now, I know this can be a huge hassle for those that have a lot of power armor sets. I only have 8 power armor sets, which was a big hassle, but I know there's some that have a lot more. I also found that I was short at least one power armor chassis. Now, of course, this is a huge inconvenience and a frustration. However, they have been plagued since day one with bugs in the power armor system. Not only that, dupers have been able to consistently find ways to take advantage of tricks with the power armor. So Bethesda has been working against this again from day one. So if these inconveniences can fix those problems, then I am fine with that. So I hope Bethesda has used this time to fix those major problems. Again, yes, this is frustrating, but I hope this major patch will fix those problems with the power armor that we've seen for so long. One of the reasons I believe this is the case is the patch notes actually says this is the behind the scenes improvements to the power armor system. So they don't even tell us what went on with the power armor improvements. Normally they tell us exactly what they're doing. They says it just addresses a lot of bugs, but it says it's behind the scenes. Well, there was a lot going on, I can tell you, with the power armor, and they did address things with the duping of power armor, and they took care of not only a lot of the duping issues, but they took out a lot of the duped items as well from power armor. That's why they had to actually take the power armor off the frames and go through it. So there may be some missing power armor, but it's going to be duped power armor that is missing. Okay guys, I didn't want you to just come in the game and not know what was going on, because I know there's a lot of you that are new to the game, have no idea what's going on, but when it's an online game, there's a lot of things that you have to battle. You have to battle the bugs, you have to battle a lot of people in the game that are doing things that they shouldn't do, and Bethesda is right on top of this game, and they're taking care of both, and I believe this was a huge thing that they've been working on. Jeff Garner tweeted last night, monster patch coming. Well, with what is in this patch that is shown, you know, it's a pretty good patch, but there's nothing that major in it. But there's a lot in this patch that we don't know about. And this is one of those big things. Because let's just look over some of the things that we do know in it. And I've already given you the highlights of what was coming. We know it. It's not that much that Bethesda's told us about. They did change the layout to the Atomic Shop, and it really looks good, so I like that change in patch 11. That was a very good change that they brought. It was needing a facelift, and this way you can actually see more of the items in the Atomic Shop at the same time, and they have a much larger featured section now. And Bethesda has been so good at adding to the Atomic Shop weekly, so the featured section is getting bigger and bigger anyway. So I love these changes to the Atomic Shop. Remember, we also talked about you can now use stealth boys when you're in power armor, so that's kind of cool. We also talked about if you have some bulked junk in your inventory and you hit scrap all when you're at a workbench, it will not bulk that junk. So if you accidentally do that now, that is a good thing that Bethesda put as a help to us. Also, they reduced the spoilage rate by 50% for raw food and raw fluxes. So that is a help to all of us. So there are little changes in the game like that is in this patch that is going to be a major help. You're going to see little things in the game that are different throughout. And maybe that's what Jeff was talking about as a major patch. There is a new animation for when getting into the power armor workbench. You cannot catch a disease until you're level 15 now. They've changed the difficulty of enemies in several of the areas like the Ash Heap and the Toxic Valley and even the Savage Divide, those that are connected directly to the forest, trying to help out the players that are just joining Fallout 76. So trying to get them a boost early on in the game. Again, some of these changes you may never notice that they've changed the game, but they will just make the game a little smoother. Fast traveling has been reduced for players under level 25. Now, here's one we're all going to notice a difference in, and this one I say with a huge smile on my face. The event Fertile Soil, which we all know is in Flatwoods, is going to trigger in a much smaller confined area, and it is going to be confined to the area of Vault-Tec Agricultural Research Center. Well, we all know that it has, up until this point, always triggered as soon as you come into Flatwoods, and we've all probably done the event Fertile Soil 100 times or more, because every time you come into Flatwoods, which is the first place you go in Fallout 76, Fertile Soil triggers. Well, now it's only going to trigger when you go to the Vault-Tec Agricultural Research Center, which is the actual building that you have to go in. I believe that's a great move by Bethesda, because that event spawns way too much. So that's a great change that they made. They removed a random encounter that could cause Protectrons to spawn in Flatwoods that are too high for lower level players. So again, they're trying to look out for lower level players to make it a little easier for those that are just joining the game. And making Fertile Soil not spawn as much will make it much better on everybody. As I said before, they did some balance changes in Nuclear Winter. They did some changes to frog legs. Everybody knows about the perk frog legs. Now jumping in rapid succession temporarily reduces maximum jump height and requires a short rest to recuperate. Also, the master perk cards have received bonus damage reductions. These tended to be overpowered, the dev said. The Commando Master, the Heavy Gunner Master, the Guerrilla Master, the Rifleman Master, the Shotgun Master, and the Demolition Master. The dev note says these perk cards were too powerful and began to feel more like they were required perks rather than options. Also in Nuclear Winter, there's been a change to explosive weapons. They have been greatly increased, the damage that explosive weapons deal against camp objects and structures, which is, I believe, a good change. Also, the laser auto pistol now no longer fires multiple beams per shot. Now, as always, there is a plethora of bug fixes, graphic fixes, and I will leave a link to the patch notes below. Oh, I almost forgot some of the most important ones. The punch bowl now works. You can fill it up with Nuka Shine, and we can all have a party again. There is a free cat hedge in the Atomic Shop, so be sure and check that out. And now your legendary items and your recipe items will now show full descriptions now instead of just that one line thing. So there are some good things as well. Real quick, a couple of things I want to say before I end. Number one, I was not even going to do a video on this because I had already given you all the highlights of this. But the main reason was because of the surprises of what happened because of this patch. It spawned everybody in crazy locations, everything that happened with the power armor, and nobody really knew what was going on and why. And I wanted to tell y'all what was going on with the power armor and kind of what was going on behind the scenes. The second thing, always there are some surprises that Bethesda does not tell us about. I want you guys to tell me what is out there in the wasteland that you see that Bethesda hasn't told us about. Normally, they will put some things in, maybe about the upcoming event with Graham. Maybe there's some clues about that. Maybe there's some clues about the upcoming vault raids. What is it in the world that you have found? And I'm sure y'all are going to start finding them today, maybe. Please let me know down in the comments what you're already seeing in the world that we haven't discussed in the patch notes. Please let me know down in the comments below. I thank you for watching this long, but remember, watch to the very end because your Fallout 76 pictures are how I end every video, and keep sending me those. I need more because I use them as fast as I get them, and y'all can send me those on Facebook and on Twitter, and my links are down in every description. We also have Discord, and yes, I have Patreon, and I would love for you to be a partner with this channel. I am the KingFanMan. I hope to see you out in the wastes of West Virginia. Yep, I will play with you. I'll see you. Bye, guys.